Just got back from the climbing gym, so I literally just took my chalky, messed up. Look at that. Hang on, see if we can get a good close up. There you go. And they were just covered in chalk, and I just with the rage of not being able to climb that shitty 5'8". The thing that could soothe my rage from being such a shitty climber was going out to the post box, where I found that the fucking mail people had seriously just taken the package and just force fucked it into my shitty little mail slot. And there's somebody in a van out there watching me trying to get it out, and the fucker is like bending as I'm trying to yank the package out, and I'm sitting there kind of just going, give it to me! And it's just, I was about ready to snap off everyone's fucking mailbox, because if you're going to fuck up my day, worse than it already has been, then I'm going to fuck up your day. So I could be pissed off about these events, but one, I'm going to fall back, regroup, and start doing a lot more research on climbing technique. And two, birthday present came for me in the mail. So, my birthday recently came and passed, and I turned 30 fucking years old. That's probably why I climb like shit now. You know, it's like in your 20s, you're still a human being, and then you turn 30, and you should just fucking put the gun in your mouth. Never mind, I'm not going to complete that sentence, but use your imagination. Anyway, I turned 30. I'm trying to save money a lot these days. I've been picking up so many extra shifts. Trying to fix my financial situation. I know people hear that a lot, but, you know, fucking real millennial talk up in here. I'm even hawking things now. I'm trying to, like, sell as much of my shit as possible. But I guess I also realized that, like, swords and action figures are not fucking currency, and so it's kind of, you're like, it's hard to reason with people. I actually went to, check this shit out. So I actually went to a pawn shop with some of my old classics, because Tolstoy used to spend a lot of money before he started getting really active on watches. I did hike with this a lot, but it's my old Fossil Navigator. It's a Swiss movement. Fossil's a shitty faux upscale company, but it was $250. And that's, I can't even fathom spending that much money on a fucking wristwatch now. Now I just wear the famous fucking Al-Qaeda watch, and it does okay. Anyway, I tried to hawk this once with the Seiko Solar Sport Watch, also $250. And one of my other shitty Fossils that I just, you know, went and bought. Used to go hiking in it and shit like that. The dude at the pawn shop was literally like, I'll give you 20 for all of them. And I was just like, what? And he's like, and you also gotta get a battery for that one. And I was like, the battery will cost 20. He's like, take it or leave it. I'm just, what the fuck is wrong with you? So I don't, I almost felt guilty about spending money, but my birthday did kind of come, and my family was a little bit generous, and for some reason, I don't know how, but a knife kind of just floated into my mind. I have not bought a new knife in the longest time. The last new one that I purchased was, I guess, over a year ago, and I've been carrying the Spyderco Tenacious for that long. And the thing is, I was carrying it before then, and then a soldier I knew was getting deployed, and I thought, gee, he certainly can't have a shitty knife. And he had his shitty Gerber laying on his kitchen counter, and we were at a party, and I literally took the knife out of my pocket, took his Gerber, and put this on his fucking kitchen. And then, like, I realized how much I missed my knife, this particular model. So I bought another one. Good buddy of mine actually informed me that there was a interesting probability that the one that I gave him was a Chinese knockoff. Apparently Spyderco has a problem with Chinese clones that are so similar looking they even fooled Cutlery Lover, who, by the way, sometimes watches my videos. Cutlery Lover, if you're watching this, Leave a comment, man. Please. Boost my hope. Teach me the way of the blade. But, so then I ended up carrying this for about a year, and I have treated this thing like a piece of shit, and it's totally fucking held up. I used to be a Cold Steel fanboy, but I've really, as of recent, become a Spyderco fanboy. For a lot of different reasons. Cold Steel's design line used to be very memey. I don't have any other way of putting that. And as of recent, their designs have just gotten really, really arty, maybe? Kind of abstract. The last Cold Steel knife that I purchased was the Counterpoint, and I actually think there's a review of that coming, and I didn't carry it for long. And we could get into reasons. I could get into the reasons for that, but that's going to be a different review. And we're not even talking about the Tenacious because I think I did a review on YouTube of the Tenacious, or if I didn't, it was on Facebook, and it was one of the first reviews that I did. You know, well, that was one of the first videos that I did after my long hiatus. One of my last hiatus. Okay. I think the most nasty job that I've recently done with this. I actually went kayaking with this, and of course it was in my pocket, and I didn't think about it because it's so damn light. It's always there. It's in your pocket. You go kayaking, water everywhere, and it's the state of North Carolina, so like, you know, it's essentially humidity. It's essentially a desert swamp. Can you imagine that? Can you get what I'm getting? Desert swamp? You know what I mean? Fucking Uncle Ben was about to call me in, you know, because he's powering down the moisture farm and shit like that. You know, fucking I find some old dude who fought in the Clone Wars. So there was a lot of fucking rust, and I took some CLP and some brass, or some CLP and some fucking steel wool, maybe some sandpaper, and I've actually recently been using it to meal prep because I've had a lot of purges, me and my possessions in my apartment and shit like that, and somehow the shitty, you know, IKEA, it wasn't even IKEA, but whatever, the shitty kitchen knife that we had somehow got tossed the fuck out. How I managed to do that without, I don't even remember how I hope I safely threw it away. I don't remember. And now I'm just like, how did you throw away a kitchen knife? And I'm thinking I wrapped it in duct tape, but I really don't know. It might have rusted over totally. I don't remember why. But long story short, I have been using this to cut up chicken. All right, we're in my kitchen where we're going to do one of the, well, I wouldn't say it's a difficult test to pass, but this is one of the things that I was commonly using my Tenacious for, which is food processing. Tolstoy has been getting into food prepping. A different kind of prepping than you'd think that he'd be into. So, I got my metric fucking ton of chicken that I usually get, and we have to process this motherfucker. Now, I've actually already done this with this, but I was talking on the phone with some friends at the time, so I wasn't able to get footage. I used to do this a lot with the Tenacious, and the Tenacious did just fine, although I'm going to be honest, this sailed through the meat. Now, I processed some lumber since then. Alright, well, making doesn't have much weight to it, so clearly it will not indent very deeply into the wood. However, I did kind of use it for a second there to pry. Yeah. Lock up on that's really actually impressive. Even when I was like twisting it thinking, nah, it's not gonna hold up, but lo and behold, it did. Now, since I don't have any paper to judge, I cannot say that I can test the sharpness of it still. Just having a little bit of trouble kind of navigating through this, but this is dead and hard wood.
Haha, ho ho. But it can definitely do it. As well as a cold steel, that I don't know. I've seen some stress tests with these versus cold steel, like the American Lawman. And obviously it's a no contest. But these knives aren't exactly made for that kind of extreme wood processing. I'm clearly being a dick. I've loosened up the lock a little bit. Added. Ooh, that would be cool if it would just swing shut and stay shut, but added a little bit of lube, and I played with the spring a bit, enough to loosen it up so that at least the lock is no longer a big deterring point. Not very good, but I was cutting vegetation, which may have dulled the edge. So, we're going to see how well this does. Also, anyone who has been to culinary school, you're going to want to look away right now because I'm about to do the worst goddamn butcher impression that you've ever seen in your entire life. Okay, first off, let's get some of that nastiness off. Comes off real easy with that knife. This is an odd one. Not all these chicken breasts are made, made the same, But what I've been taught is to go straight down this little vein right here, and I just realized from this angle you kind of can't see it. Son of a bitch. I can't really change the camera angle. My hands are, well, okay. One hand is not covered in Chico guts, I think. Come on, buddy. Angle that fucker down. You're on my phone. There we go. That's possibly a little bit better. Alright, so. You see that? Look how fucking smooth. Look at the bacon. Now, the problem is I got like a whole bunch of excess. I don't like touching the chicken with both hands. I like to keep at least one hand sterile. Get some of the excess off there. You can pretty much essentially just shave the damn chicken. Try to get as much tendon and fat out of there and blood vessel. And anyone in my audience who knows way more about cooking than I do, you can let me know. So, is there a lot of goodness left in there? Looks like there's a big bloody tendon. I mean, if I was absolutely starving and living in a third world country, and I don't want to be a wasteful douche, but I don't know that I have the culinary skills to process this in a way that it won't taste disgusting even after being in my crock pot, so I kind of just treat that as trash meat. Same with, you can see a lot of that at the top here. Just kind of, yeah. Like I said, shaving sharp, you can really kind of just shave the fat off the chicken here. You see here you got a lot of tendons, fat, gross shit. Yeah, there's no way. I can't salvage that. I mean, yes, if I were a Vietnamese lady who was living through the goddamn war, I'm sure that I could make fucking do. I'm sure I could do a lot of things if I had been put under the kind of stress that those people went under. But, I'm a lazy fat-ass American, so cooking is the height of my courage. But you can see, it's making quick work. Like, there's little to no resistance. Should I try a duller knife just to kind of give it comparison? I've never really tried processing with any other type of knife, but now I'm just thinking, why the hell not? But what other knife we got? Hang on. The only other knife that I could really think of, cold steel American Lawman, and this is going out to someone, I swear. Jesus, I feel so bad. I have things that I promised to send, 3 different people, and I haven't gotten it done. I got reasons, man. I've got a lot on my plate. Not that plate, but a lot on my plate that I can't even talk about. But long story short, try the American Lawman. I was actually watching a review that pit the it was a torture test of this knife versus this knife, and I'm very sorry to say, as cool and hipster as Spyderco and as made in America and refined as their design is, this shit. And this is actually almost as light. Ugh. I hate to say it, the American Lawman may just be a way better knife. But, let's fucking test that metal. Let's try it on the chicken. Yep. Ooh. Oh. Okay. So, it cuts about, maybe a little less efficiently as the Tenacious. Let's try a bigger piece. Okay. So it'll do in a pinch, but I'm hitting resistance. You know what I mean? It's not sailing through that sucker the same way that this style of blade, actually, that just twerked it. Spoke too soon. No, this is actually, but still, this is cutting way better. It's making very quick work of the chicken. Yep.
It's gotten Chico chunks all up in the jimping and the grooves, and I literally have just put this under the fucking tap and taken the brush and sterilized this motherfucker and put it right back in my pocket, and surprisingly, it hasn't, it's held up. It has not really rusted. Micro rust spots, but a little bit of CLP, just fine. So I want to see how this sucker still cuts, man. This is not a Tenacious review, by the way. I just fucking love the Spyderco Tenacious. Okay, you got some tearing near the end. Yeah, it's definitely seen use. I haven't sharpened it. Yeah, it's tearing that a little bit. I didn't want to do it on the edge of that head. Woo! Ooh, girl, you wretched! Hang on. Let's see if I can. Yeah. So, bet you it's the tips a little. Yeah. The tips seen better days from me using it to cut through wads of meat. Yeah. But, still pretty decent. I've also been using this in the bush. I've used this, made a fuzz stick with this. So, yeah. A really great beater knife by Spyderco. Spyderco's designs are actually pretty amazing. Some of the reasons why I really like Spyderco are, one, the blade design I think is the sexiest and coolest thing I've ever seen. It is honestly the perfect blade. There's a couple different reasons why. One of them is that it has some people call this a point drop style blade. I think the term that they use even at the company is leaf style blade, shaped like a fucking leaf. It has both great cutting capacity and also great sticking capacity, as well as the ability to do delicate work with that little tip. Some knives, like stilettos, are basically just glorified stickers and can't be used for good cutting. Other knives that have big bellies oftentimes have clip point blades that curve way up, almost like an Arabic style knife. If I had my knife case, I would literally get out the cold steel Spada to show that off. And then that has trouble doing, pinpoint precision work with the tip. Say, like, a good example, and I don't have it, I'm not going to reach for it, but a deck of cards I once opened with the cold steel Spada. All right, get it out, laugh out, get your laughter out of your system now. All right, whatever. Anyway, long story short, trying to sync up the curved tip and try to weasel it in just to kind of open that pack of cards, and immediately the rest of the blade sank into the fucking deck, or into the top of the box, and ruined the fucking box. And that actually happened a couple of times. I think I tried to open the DVD box to Inglourious Basterds that my brother got me for Christmas once with the cold steel Highlight, and because it wasn't cutting, I had to stick, and I ended up accidentally slicing through the whole box. Long story short, this to me is a very ideal knife, blade style. I also think that the blade is the optimum length to get the shit you want to get done, but not look scary to sheep. This is a very gray man knife. I feel like you can pull this out in a grocery store and do something real quick with it, and not as many people are going to go, oh my god, a terrorist! I'm not saying that you can bring this on a fucking flight, but I'm saying that this does not look aggressive and martial by comparison to most of the designs that Cold Steel tries to, most of the designs that Cold Steel floats, half the designs that Kershaw floats, a good amount of CRKT is martial. Almost all of the shit that almost all of the shit that Spyderco produces to me seems very gray man. It does not seem threatening, even if it is. And anything can be threatening. You can beat somebody to death with a boot. But long story short, well, long story less long. I was talking with my knife wizard buddy Sam, and he's my new knife guru. I go to him. And I asked him about, because he's the one that he traded with me for the Pardue, which is the only Benchmade knife that I have. And I was looking at, some of the discounted Griptilians on Blade HQ. And I asked him, how do you feel with the Griptilian? He said, it's not a bad knife, but honestly, have you looked at the Spyderco Manix 2? And he'd been floating that idea for a while. He'd been saying the Manix 2, the Manix 2. Personally, I think the sexiest looking Spyderco is the Shaman. It's like $250. Nah, fam, can't justify. 0 to 10, will not buy. But essentially, he showed me some links for a little over $100. The Spyderco Manix 2. He essentially told me that it was a Tenacious on steroids. So I kind of wanted to, this is why I showed this off so much. This is why we had 15 minutes of me talking about the freaking Tenacious, because I wanted to show you guys a little bit of a comparison. So, this is the very famous Spyderco box. The Chinese clones still come in these boxes. Sam assures me that the Blade HQ stuff, they really check to make sure that that's not a Chinese clone. The other thing is that while this is still made in China, this is not a Chinese clone. This is made in the factory. It's supposed to be made and has the proper, what's the word, quality assurance done to it. This is a model that is made in America, and that's really cool. This is, I've honestly referred to this as my knifeu, as like, I think this is the knife I'll probably carry for the rest of my life. I want to get more into minimalism. I want to reduce the number of possessions I have. I don't want to be collecting useless garbage. I'm going to die one day, and will all that garbage make me happy? No, but along the way, while I'm adventuring out in the woods, I need a fucking knife. Even if I'm not in the woods, I need a fucking knife. And if I'm going to carry one, it's going to be my knifeu. It'd be really nice if it was made in America. Because I like the idea that I'm putting Americans to work. I like the idea that and it's also of American steel. By the way, my review of this is not going to be fucking good. You want to see a good review of it? Go watch Not in Fancy. That's literally what I watched. Yep, and there it is. Knives and Accessories, Golden, Colorado, USA. Let's see if you can focus in on that. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. The only other Spyderco that I've had that was like that was the Spyderco Native, and that one on the tang is etched in golden letters, assembled or produced in Golden, Colorado, USA, Earth, which I really think is cool. That's a cute touch. That's almost like how ACOG puts like Mark 2 verse 3, it comes out as MK2V3 or something like that, you know what I mean? And you look in the Bible and it's Jesus Christ saying, I am the light. And I don't know how that floats with the military purchasing ACOGs. I don't know if they just sand that shit off, but because the military is is of the government, there's separation of church and state. Really can't have reference to the Judeo-Christian God on your shit, but I think that's cheeky as fuck. That they're like, yeah, well, we produce the best goddamn optics, and guess what? We're gonna put that shit fucking on there. We're gonna sneak it in. So I think it's cool to put Golden, Colorado, USA. By the way, we're part of Earth. I'm going to adjust this camera to see if I can get a cooler shot. Thankfully, I'm doing this on the same thing I do my face cam on. I think it's pretty good quality. My brother just gave me some weird Logitech, webcam, and it seems to be doing pretty good. The light actually looks more well balanced than on the the HD camcorder. Alright. So, I'm desperate to open this up, but I want to actually get a good camera angle, and I think what I can do is just tilt the fucker down and put this flat on my desk. But, got a whole bunch of shit in the way. You got your pencil, got your fucking weird SanDisk adapter thing, got your fucking teacup. Oh, thank God for tea. Time for tea. And you got your watches that no one wants. You got your neck beard. You got your self-loathing. Alright. Well, you're staring at my crotch now. And the lighting's a little messed up, but I think that's okay. So, let's see if I can center that up. I guess I could swap out the keyboard for the... There we go. And now we are talking. Now we're in business. God dang it, I still got my little computer chip here. I don't know, it's called a micro SD. Yeah, it's called a computer chip. That's what it is to me, son. Alright. So let's take a look at that box. That is the iconic Spyderco box in the ugliest colors known to man. but that is iconic, and it has not changed, and I don't think it is due to change. This is timeless. Anyway. So you got Spyderco on this end. Knives and accessories from Golden, Colorado. Very simplistic. You got some writing on the back. Spyderco trademark round hole. Okay, first of all, let's call it a Spidey hole, sir. Whoever wrote this box, oh god, it is a Chinese knockoff. Damn! Okay. Reliable, high performance, refined ergonomics, and superior blade steel. Shit, I can't remember what this one was made out of. I think they've made a couple of models. Essentially, all the different knife manufacturers are going for, like, super... me and Sam refer to them as super buttfuck steels, where it's just like, they're going crazy for these carpenter steels that just are super hard and never rust, but they end up pricing me out of the market. It's the reason why, like, the Manix is what I can afford, the Shaman is what I want, but let's face it, like, can't afford that shit. Before now, the only thing I've ever had carpenter steel was the cold steel counterpoint, which, again, we will discuss that at a later date. This just came in the mail. I needed to pick me up, so I wanted to open my toy. So, this is my toy. Alright. Slide it out. There's the magic. First off, let's move this aside. Let's cover it up. Just cover it up. Aw. You know, a little bit of foam. What was the point of that? Oh no, I'm gonna end up playing with that. Damn. Comes with a little Spyderco warranty and information guide. Heck yeah, look at that. That's a fucking accordion. Let's see what it says here. Dear Spyderco owner, congratulations on the purchase of your Manix 2 folding knife. Welcome to the Spyderco community of knife owners. We truly appreciate your interest and confidence in our products and would like to take this opportunity to share the story behind this knife design. Fuck, should I really read all this? There's a lot. Yeah, and all this information is just kind of like, so apparently it's got, let's see, something S30V as in Victor steel, changed to CPM S30V, and in 2014 the blade grind followed suit, changing from hollow ground to full flat ground. And by the way, as what I had heard, the bird is the word, and that is exactly what I wanted, because one of the only things that I could say negatively about this is that, although it was razor sharp when I first got it, and it could carve, cut through paper, sail through paper elegantly, yeah, well, that kind of makes it not as much a workhorse knife, whereas this comes with a flat ground, so this will be way better for cutting vegetation when I'm out in the bush. Have I ever had to do that out in the bush? Yes, absolutely. While I was hanging from a small micro ledge. Okay, it wasn't a micro ledge, but I was scared, okay? So this is cool. I will probably read this while I am on the shitter. That's right. This is some good shitter material right here. Not for wiping, for reading. Do not wipe your ass with laminate paper. It's gonna hurt. I guarantee it. If you really want to know all the specs, then honestly, I would recommend watching Nothing Fancy. I'm sure Cutlery Lover has done one. Fuck, I mean, everybody's done this one. I'm just doing this for your guys' edification. Interesting. Okay, the first thing we got to do. Ooh. Oh baby, that is interesting. Okay. Okay, we need some first impressions on this. So. Oh my god, that's so interesting. I didn't think it was going to be like this. Okay, let's take a quick look. So, I guess, should I set them down? Okay, I'll set them down. So, Tenacious Manix. They look pretty similar. And even while watching the video reviews by, like, Nothing Fancy, I was thinking to myself, well, that's basically just the same knife. No, not at all. This one's a bit bigger. A little bit bigger, which actually is kind of a negative in my book. I like the compactness of the Tenacious. Again, like I said, I like that it's really small, super discreet. I love the fact that it's maybe a little bit less threatening to the sheepies out there. There aren't many in this state, but, it's always something to consider. Interesting. The other thing is this is super lightweight. This is the lightest, one of the lightest knives. Now, I think the absolute lightest knife that I've ever effed with is the Pardue by Benchmade. This is you have to look up the specs. I'm not even gonna sit here and try to like weigh things in ounces in my hand. It's ridiculous. But this is a solid ½ pound. It's got to be. Maybe. The biggest difference that I notice, and I haven't opened up the blade yet, but I am really hoping that that blade is fat. Because one of the things that I really like with the leaf blade is the fact that it has belly. Gets a lot of cutting done, and honestly, I just think it's cool as shit. I like my knives like I like my women, which is thick with a C at the end of it. So this doesn't look as thick as this. And that is interesting. I love the fatter profile, the shorter, stubbier, stouter profile. This almost reminds me of my my favorite cold steel knife, which I don't know if we'll ever get a review of it. I was carrying it a lot during my hiatus period, but the Raja 3, the tiny little. In fact, if if Spyderco ever made a kukri style blade that was that fat with the famous Spidey hole, which let me tell you about the Spidey hole. I mean, that would literally be my dream come true. So the Spidey hole, a lot of users really don't like that to begin with. I have gotten so used to the Spidey hole that the one time I transferred back to using a thumb stud, I found I was not as fast with it, and I did not enjoy it, and I switched right back. So the locking mechanism on this is also kind of strange, and I think they kind of, I forget what they call this, a ball-bearing lockup, and I have no idea what that is. But essentially that is kind of their answer to the Axis lock, or from Cold Steel's the Triad lock. And I think it has something to do with this switch. This little ambidextrous switch here, I think, is for returning the blade with one single hand, which is really great. A lot of Cold Steel designs kind of rely on having a lockback in order to have the kind of legendary strength that they are known for. And I'm sure that they're stronger, but I'm going to be honest, once you get used to the convenience of returning things to your pocket with one hand, you don't want to go back, even if it means more strength. All right, let's just shut the fuck up and open the damn knife. Interesting. Compare those two. I'm trying to get at a good angle here for you. Nope. There we go. That's a better angle. Just not as in the light. Huh. So they almost look identical from your perspective. To me, I noticed the little differences. And you know what's bad? Okay. It looks fat when it's folded up. But the blade is actually just a little bit sharper. It's a little bit, the profile of the blade is a little bit thinner. I don't know how I feel about that. It's more pointy. Huh. I don't know how I feel about that. It's still very sexy, but I don't know if this is if this is as sexy as this. That's obviously not going to break it. The benefits of the lockup and probably the superior performance of this knife are what's going to keep me carrying it over top of this. In fact, I'm going to probably end up gifting this, as I usually do. Okay, I want to see something. I want to see how this lockup works. I want to see if I can swing it shut the way a lot of people do their Griptilians or their Pardues, their Benchmades. Oof. Oh my god. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. It's super stiff. Okay. No way. You have to do it on both sides. That is not ambidextrous. You have to pinch it with both sides. And both sides must, no? Do you push down? Is that, no. Okay, I'm very confused. I don't want to do this. Wrapping my hand around it while the blade, and then trying to, but it is very stiff. A lot of Cold Steel's lockups are so fucking stiff when they come, you have to break them in by taking the lock back and forcing it against a stiff surface until it loosens up. That's what this reminds me of, but there's no way to do that with this. There we go. Okay. Well, that's not good. That's not good at all. All right. I'm going to try to see if I can... Well, it deploys fast as damn lightning. The only thing that I've seen deploy faster than this is this. However, getting that genie back in the bottle. Oh my god, with my thumb? Could be because I just came from climbing, but I doubt it. Oh my god, ow. Fuck me. I don't know if you're supposed to do it on both sides. Oh. Yeah, it helps to do it on both sides. No, I can't.
One eternity later.
So I don't know if you can see. So there's a spring in there, and when you press down on this, it's supposed to relieve tension and allow the blade to slide closed, but it's a pain in the ass. Okay. Well. That's a bit ridiculous. I don't know if I have to warm it up, but that wasn't really all that fast. Still smooth, but not all that fast. No lube on it, though, so there's that. Really having trouble with that. All right. Let's take a look. Check it out. Please focus. Focus, camera. Well, the camera's refusing to focus on it, but that is the stamp. It says Golden, Colorado, USA, Earth on it. Let me see if I can... Trying to get the camera to pick up on it, but it doesn't seem to want to. That is where it is stamped, Golden, Colorado, USA, Earth. And then there's a strange kind of symbol there. I actually don't know what that stands for. There you go. Yeah, it's not really... I don't know if it just takes time to wear in, but I would prefer for it to end up kind of like one of the, Griptilians, where you can... There you go. Swing the sucker closed. I wonder if you can open it the same way as a Griptilian. Yes, you can. Maybe it's just that it's so new that wasn't as smooth as, say, like the Pardue. Yeah, I'm having trouble doing it one with just the thumb. I'm thinking that you need to basically, have both my thumb and my index pinching and pulling down. That is a pain in the butt. But I hear that it makes the lockup super strong, so let's give that a test. First of all, that's how that shit deploys. Ergonomics are no question. Why even bring it up? It's Spyderco. You know it has the best ergonomics. I've heard some people say that Benchmade has better ergonomics. One of the only things I can say I don't like is this jimping on the back, where there is none here. It's smooth. Well, actually, maybe not. We'll see. I noticed that when I'm cutting chicken, and I can only talk about the tenacious cutting chicken. Yeah, I do not instinctively put my finger here to cut le chicken. When I'm trying to get the tendons and the icky out of it. I put my finger right fucking here because I really want control and power over that blade. So, and honestly, jimping, no jimping, hasn't really made a big difference. Yeah, notice how fast I can, get that in and out. Now, compare that to that, where if I really had to... So I really don't know if that jimping is going to make a difference when I'm handling it, if that's going to cause, when I've got my thumb braced here, if that's going to cause, some kind of discomfort if I'm spending a long time performing cutting tasks. But other than that, oh yeah, and there's also jimping on the inside. So I'm going to have to probably get a lot of experience with it. This review might not cut out for a little while. Once I get more used to it, I'll have to give you my final thoughts on it, but... Oof. That lock needs work. There you go. I guess it's just going to take some practice, and maybe 2 to loosen it up a little bit. But other than that, a couple things I guess we should take a look at before bringing it out of the field. You know that Tolstoy had to do this. Of course. If your question is, do I keep sticky notes on hand just to cut up? The answer is no. I also use them for studying. But yes, also knives. So this is going to be a flat ground. So this will not be as sharp as a convex edge, but it will hold the edge better. Okay, well that was insanely sharp. Fuck me, Freddy. Hope it stays that sharp forever. Oh, you know what I didn't notice? And I guess, yeah, that's actually an improvement probably. So there you got your Manix. Yep. So let's say for whatever reason you needed to choke up on the blade. What's going to happen if I get this like that? Like say I'm skinning a deer. No, I've never skinned a deer before. I'm not that fucking cool. I'm trying, and God knows that the universe is trying to fucking stop me from everything that I've ever wanted to do or become, but, you know, hey, what are you going to do? You know, hopefully one day you'll die and then be free of this mortal fucking coil. Sorry, didn't mean to go. Anyway, if I reach up, say if I'm skinning a deer, and I don't, you know, and I don't want to stick the fucking blade all the way into the bitch and then burst all of its internal organs and taint the meat. Well, one of the things that, you know, a lot they used to do back in the day is they would choke up on the blade, usually while wearing, like, say, kid skin gloves or, like, deer skin gloves. So, when you choke up on the blade, you know, I don't have fucking deer skin gloves. Okay, maybe I got mechanics gloves, but still, do I really want to put my hand around live steel? Fucking no, I don't. But, check this sucker out. It does have jimping right here. There's a little bit of a choil, a secondary choil. So in essence, you got your right here, or you can choke up on that sucker and get it like that. So that's interesting. I do like that. As you would expect, the left and right has a slight amount of play because it's a folding knife. You know what I mean? Like, surprise, bitches. You know, the same. Far more on this, but I've also treated it like shit. Ooh. Ooh. Can you hear it? Okay, never mind. I was putting pressure, I think, on the frame that was locking, but on this sucker, you ain't going nowhere. Very solid lockup. Maybe not as solid as some cold steels that I've had in my hands, but that's... Oh, I made everything go on my desk. I don't know if you can make that out. Just made a little bald patch on my fucking arm. Yeah, you can't. Right there. There you go. You can kind of see. See right there, that little crop circle? Shaving sharp. Now, if I could get her to return. One more test. And this is important. Fuck, I can't get the... Gotta back the goddamn chair up. Gotta back it up like it's a bitch's ass. Maybe I shouldn't say that on YouTube. Alright, so one of the nice things about 511s is that they have like this weird little magazine pouch. I think it's supposed to be for like a pistol mag. Hysterical, because revolver guy. But anyway, long story short, it's nice not having to put your knives into your main pocket, which then, if you want to stick your hands in your pocket, now this is sticking out and jabbing me in, you know, my hand. Well, with 511s, you can kind of stick it right there. And that way, it's a little bit lower down if you want to slap leather, but still there. Now, this, I noticed, the G10s on this are actually extra grippy by comparison to this. The Tenacious. It might just be that the Tenacious has just seen more action and therefore has worn down the G10 scales. But we're going to see how this rides, because this rode super fucking discreet. I could sleep on my side. It was so amazing. So, let's take a look. Whoa, did these have... They do! They're yin and yang. This is tip-up carry, which is weird. That's... Oh, I'm going to have to get used to it again. You can't change that shit on me. Oh, wow. It's even more discreet. That little tip. Holy crap, that was fast. Holy cannoli. Yeah. Alright, see if we can do the spin. Can I remember how to do the spin? Bradley Kimura. Oof. Yeah, it's actually held up. A little bit of dust. Pelican case is amazing. Let's see if I can remember any of the old tricks. I don't mess around with this one too much more. Ever since it bit me really bad on my index finger, folders are at this stage in their development, you know, amazingly strong. And have the added benefit of ease of use. Battle songs at this point are literally just works of art. Totally legal in North Carolina, by the way. I could open carry this if I so desired. But I think it will stay one of the crown jewels of my collection. I just kind of wanted to break it out to show you that I could. I used to do way better tricks that I was more willing to do with the trainer that I had. And that was featured in a lot of my older vids. Nice. Why don't I just keep this under my bed? Oh, it doesn't fit, does it? Yes, it does. No, it does not. Your AR-15 fit under the goddamn bed.